Today we're going to talk about how to scalp Forex. If you're new to this channel, this is Supermarket FX, and here we talk about ways to simplify your trading and free you from the belief that trading can't be done. Now, we're going to cover a 1-minute scalping strategy here that should make your life a little bit easier if you're still having a hard time with trading. Now, when we're looking at the chart here, this is Euro USD on the 1 minute. You can see that price was clearly coming down. And then it changed direction. You can see that now it's broken above previous structure and it's come back to retest that area. And what you could have done at that point, now that you see that there's a possibility it's changing direction, you could have gotten in on the trade there. Now, where you decide to put it is entirely up to you, but you can see lower highs, lower lows, and then all of a sudden a shift here. Price came and retested a previous area of structure here, and you could have entered in on this candle or this one here when this pushed higher above, or you could have entered in soon as it reached that spot. But let's just say that you got in right here, and what you did was this is the 1 minute chart, so you don't want your stop loss too close on this one. Now you put your stop loss just below, that's just below the second low, and you're aiming for the top. And I always aim for the open or the close, not the wick. And if we run this across, you can see how price came up and took out that area completely before changing direction. And this was a 2.54 risk to reward. And this trade was 1 hour and 16 minutes. So that's the great thing about scalping the 1 minute chart, is your trades can go much quicker. If you're not familiar with this is definitely a way to scalp Forex. You don't need a bunch of indicators on your chart. Now you could see as we go through this, price continued to make higher highs and higher lows. And then when it did make the shift and started making lower highs and lower lows, when it came into this area, you can see that it retested this previous area of structure. It's made a shift to the downside, so we know there's a possibility that it may go in that direction. And if you would have waited to get in on this trade, just at the close of the candle, not the retest, you could have tried getting in here, but if you waited for a bigger confirmation, could have waited once it broke past this area, or waited just before the candle closed. And again, we would put our stop loss, it's not above the first area of structure, but the second one, and you're just aiming for the low. And if we go across here, you can see how that played out. A risk to reward of 3.64. And this trade was a 55-minute trade, so less than an hour. Price finally reaches a point, so it's taking out some liquidity here. Price makes a shift after making lower highs and lower lows. This is the first point where you can see that it pushes above. So right here, comes back and retests that area. And when you see that, you would get in on the trade again. but some people may get in as soon as it comes into this area, or you may choose to get in just before the candle closes. And if we follow the rule on this one, where we're going below the second low, and we target the high, run it across, you can see how it just came up, took it out before deciding to change direction. And this trade here was a 39-minute trade. Not bad. You can see price comes down, pushes up. This area was retested multiple times, so if that's another way of you getting in on a trade, this is retests are definitely what we talk about on this channel. This was caught in a bit of a range here. You can see how price was bouncing back and forth, not really going anywhere. And then finally, you can see that price decided to shoot above this area, then came back and retested it. And at that point, you could have gotten in on the trade. And at this point, you don't have, you're not going to put your stop loss down here. That's too far away. So you might just aim for this one. And when you're trying to find where to put your take profit, well, if we run this across back here, well, we can see just on the close of that candle. Okay, so we got back here and say we target the high there. Now, you're not going to catch the whole move, but that's okay. You don't need to. You can see this was a 2.29. And this over. And this was a quick trade. This only lasted minutes. But that's all you're doing, is you're just following price. You're waiting for price to show its intention of changing direction. It doesn't mean that it will, but it's giving you a clue that it may. And when you start seeing that happen, you're paying attention to previous structure on how the price is reacting to it. I think this is an excellent 1-minute scalping strategy that you can use. Start practicing it on TradingView right away. Don't test it on a real account until you can prove that you can do this. If you like this video, hit the subscribe and share button. That way it motivates me to make more great content for you guys. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. And until next time, bye for now.